Marek drops good news. Roloff family celebrates a fresh Chapt. Hello, welcome back to USA series spoiler update. Please subscribe now. It was 7:42 a.m. in Hillsborough when the Roloff family text thread exploded with notifications. Marek, husband of Amy Roloff and stepdad to the famous Roloff kids, had sent a single sentence that left everyone stunned. "We're bringing everyone back together, and I have a surprise to share." Within minutes, calls were made, flights were booked, and the entire Roloff clan, even the estranged members, were making plans to gather at Roloff Farms that weekend. For a family known for years of public feuds, lawsuits, and reality TV tension, this sudden spark of unity was almost unthinkable. Setting the scene, Roloff Farms in summer. The air at Roloff Farms was sweet with the smell of ripening peaches, fresh hay, and the faint aroma of Amy's famous zucchini bread baking in the farmhouse kitchen. The main barn had been cleaned and decorated with twinkle lights, mason jars filled with sunflowers, and long tables draped in red and white checkered cloth. Stood at the center of it all, wearing his signature blue flannel, hands in his pockets, a slight grin that betrayed the excitement he was trying to keep under wraps. He'd been planning this for months, carefully keeping it from both the family and TLC producers until the moment was right. The good news revealed. By the time everyone arrived, the farmyard was buzzing. Matt Roloff pulled up in his familiar orange tractor. Tori and Zach came with their 3 kids in tow. Jeremy and Audrey arrived holding hands, and even Jacob and Isabel, known for avoiding big family gatherings, stepped out of their SUV looking cautiously optimistic. Waited until everyone had a plate of food before standing up and tapping a glass with his spoon. "I know this family's been through a lot," began, his voice steady but full of emotion. "We've had disagreements, misunderstandings, and some moments we wish we could take back. But today is about healing. And it's about the future. That's why I'm here to tell you that Amy and I have bought back the North Acre of Roloff Farms." A collective gasp swept across the tables. The North Acre, a lush, 12-acre section of land sold years ago during the height of the Roloff family disputes, had been a symbol of division ever since. Matt's decision to sell it to an outside buyer had been a breaking point for many. Now, had quietly negotiated to buy it back, using a mix of personal savings, investments, and, as he joked, a lot of poker night winnings. The reactions. Amy burst into tears almost instantly, throwing her arms around "I can't believe you did this without telling me," she laughed through her sobs. "You are unbelievable." Matt looked stunned, his usual quick wit momentarily gone. Finally, he extended a hand to and said, "I didn't think I'd see the day." "Well, welcome to the big leagues, partner." Tori whispered to Zach, "This could change everything," while Audrey took out her phone to record the moment for Instagram stories. Even Jacob, who had sworn off farm politics, admitted, This is actually pretty cool. What it means for the Roloff legacy." Explained his vision. The North Acre would be transformed into a public retreat space called the Roloff Family Orchard and Lodge. It would feature walking trails, pick-your-own fruit orchards, a small event barn for weddings, and cabins for overnight stays. More importantly, he said, it would be a joint family venture, with every Roloff sibling invited to take part in the ownership and operations, if they wished. For fans of Little People, Big World, this announcement was more than a land purchase. It was a sign that the Roloffs might finally be closing the chapter on years of on-screen tension. TLC cameras roll again. Unbeknownst to the family, TLC had been tipped off about something big happening at the farm. A small crew had been filming from the moment made his announcement. If all went according to plan, the footage would appear in a new, 2-part LPBW reunion special tentatively titled Roloff Farms, The Next Harvest. Producers were giddy. The combination of heartfelt reconciliation and fresh business plans was exactly the kind of storyline that kept viewers hooked. Chris's emotional speech. As the sun began to set, gathered the family by the bonfire pit. His voice was quieter now, more personal. When married Amy, knew wasn't just marrying a woman, was joining a family. A big, complicated, sometimes stubborn, but always passionate family. And V's seen what happens when we work together. Wanted to give us a reason to do that again. So here it is, a place, a project, a dream we can all share. This is my good news. And I hope it's the start of something better for all of us. There was a long pause. Then Zach stepped forward, holding little Josiah, and said, "Let's do it." Community reaction. Word spread quickly through Hillsborough and beyond. Local news stations picked up the story, and social media exploded with hashtags like Roloff reunion and Chris for president. Longtime fans flooded the comment sections with emotional messages. This is the best LPBW news in years. Chris is the glue this family needed. Please let this mean more episodes. Even former TLC cast members who had drifted away from the spotlight reached out privately to congratulate Chris and Amy. Looking ahead, plans were already in motion to break ground on the retreat lodge in September. Jeremy offered to help design the cabins, Audrey wanted to run a farm-to-table bakery on site, and Tori volunteered to manage the orchard tours. Even Jacob expressed interest in creating a sustainability program for visitors. For the first time in years, the Roloffs seemed to have a shared purpose, and it was all because Chris decided to deliver his good news not in a press release, but face-to-face, on the land that had defined their family for decades.